welcome to Tinkering with Atkelar. As promised, here is my most recent mechanical project, a desktop calculator. Before we had anything electronic to add numbers, we had mechanical devices to aid in the precision and speed of basic mathematical operations, as well as take some of the more common errors out of the loop. You know, human or feline errors. This model here, formerly called Triumphator CRN1, has 10-digit input, 13-digit output and 8-digit counter registers. It also features, according to the manual, absolute one-handed operation. Yes, they call it absolute, not just complete or full. They seem to be very proud of it. Sadly though, it has to be the right hand. I am not aware of any mirrored version for left-handed operation at least. At any rate, this means that all the levers are within reach when you put your hand on the right edge of the device. Note that this is the CRN1 model as opposed to the sister model CN1. This one has an R button. And on the technical side, it has a full 6.5 kilograms. Yes, 6.5 kilograms of 1955 East German metalwork at your fingertips. When the device arrived, it was somewhat working. I am slowly poking and prodding all levers to see what works and what moves. I did not yet have the manual when I started. But to me, it is clear that the one lever on top that apparently clears the input register is missing the return spring. Like the clear one for the output register, it should most likely return automatically. Now let's get started with the disassembly. The cover tins come off with relative ease. Note that I did not want to force anything to prevent bending or breaking things. Now that I can have a peek, there's quite a large number of parts inside. Looks like almost a football field worth of knolling if I could try that. All the inside is covered with very old oil residue that has the consistency and color of caramel by now. Still, the smell of old mechanics. Lovely. The underside of the device has the linkage for the carriage movement, which is quite a thing in itself. There's a set of gears in the carriage that are mounted on a pivot arm. These connect with the Omnius R button, but as it is now, some of them are stuck from old oil. After finally getting the carriage out of the way, it was a bit easier to gain access to the parts on the inside. All the major components are aligned on the base plate with pins. Good idea for precision, but by now these have become so stuck that I had to use force to pry the sheet metal apart, which caused some involuntary shape adjustments. The smaller drum for the counter came out with ease. Here's where things went slightly sideways. The main drum is held in place with a bearing block, and in order to get it out, one has to remove a gear that is attached on the far side of the bearing. The gear, like many parts, is held in place with a pin. That came out okay, but the gear wouldn't budge. I couldn't get my bearing puller under the gear, so I tried to pull on the bearing block, and it snapped in two. That is some cheap tin casting only. Well, now that it's broken, I could grab the gear and it finally gave in. the arms connect with the axle with pins again, so I'm trying to use a pair of pliers to push them out. F**k! Again! These casted parts are way too brittle. The next issue is the crank. It is also attached with a pin, and no matter how much I hammered, it wouldn't budge. I decided to drill out the pin eventually, broke 2 drill bits over it, and went for the mill after that. I needed to be persistent here, since the crankshaft was binding up during half a turn. I suspect the device fell off a table at some time, and that might have caused a bit of a bend in the shaft. I tried to disassemble the two counting drums so I can clean and lubricate the mechanism inside, but the nuts that hold the discs on the shaft are utterly stuck. Time for an upgrade. Meet my new cordless impact driver. Wowzer, what a difference! I got the last pin out of the carriage mechanism linkage that was holding the parts together. Now I can get those apart. And I think that's enough for a part 1 video. Join in next time for part 2. Note that I did not want to force anything to prevent bending or breaking anything. Anything. That needs rewording.